That was horrible.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Nice little spill-proof spot.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You drove all the way here today? What's that? Oh. Hi, Weezy.
All right, starting our second game of the weekend against Storm. We're going to start out with Pulauskas, Paulo, Reynolds, Campbell, and Rubicki. Dabrowski in net today. Apollo to take the draw for the first face-off. And got a whistle. The clock is turned off. All right. Just a little glitch with the scoreboard. Oh, morning. Oh, good. Glad.
There's so much to talk about. There's a lot.
Yeah, there was. All right, clock's back on. We'll do it again. Drop to Apollo, gets it to Rybicki, Rybicki to Campbell. Campbell. Puck gets deflected and into the Storm zone. Storm try to clear it up the boards. It pops on to Reynolds and then back to the Storm. Storm through the neutral zone. Campbell gets there and slows up the puck. Kept in by Storm. Shot on Dabrowski. Blocker save. Puck in the corner. Storm circle and go back up to their D. Put back down low. Puck back to the opposite corner now. Up to near board. Campbell lays a big hit. Apollo battling in the corner. Gets the puck away and pass over to Rybicki. Apollo gets run. A little bit of yelling back and forth now here. The tough game last night, and it looks like a lot of that animosity is going to carry over to today. Apollo gets run again. 15:55 to go. We got to change. Nietzsche comes on. Letcher comes on. Aldridge with Onak at D. Puck to the backboard. Storm dig it out. Nietzsche giving some stress. Puck on Dabrowski covers. 15:34 to go in the first. Nietzsche take the face off. Storm win the face-off back to their D. Put back down deep behind Dabrowski. Aldridge separates man from puck. Nietzsche sends it to Chalicki. Chalicki trying to pass that to Letcher. Gets intercepted. Blocked by Onak. Shot in front. Chance by Storm. Gets pushed aside by Dabrowski. And then Onak puts it to the corner. Fury dig it out. Nietzsche gets one past. He's got a opportunity here. Shot off of the pad of the Storm goaltender. Campbell keeps the puck in. Gets it back down for Chalicki. Chalicki in the corner gets pinned. Puck up to Campbell. Campbell puts the puck down behind the net, and Storm try to go up the near board. Miller out now on D. Letcher regrouping with Campbell. Letcher changes, and Carter comes on. Kruger has come on for Nietzsche. Brown for Chalicki. Storm coming back through. Through the neutral zone and go wide. Centering pass, bounces off of Brown, and then shot by Storm. Carter goes into the net, and we get a whistle. The referee sets the net, and we'll have Kruger take this face off. Kruger, Carter, Brown out now. Storm win it back to their D. Shot goes wide and over to the opposite board. Brown chips it out. Oh, kept in by Storm. They got a shot. It hits off of Campbell. Miller around for Carter. Carter chips it forward for Kruger by kept in. And then glove save by Dabrowski. Kushkowski, Credidio, and Bergeron come out. 14 minutes to go in the first, still 0-0. Aldridge and Rybicki at D. Storm win that faceoff back again. Go over to their D, who walks it in, takes a shot, deflects off of Bergeron wide. Presidio takes it off of the board, finds Bergeron. Bergeron chips pass, gets taken down. Puck off from the sideboard. Storm come back through the neutral zone. Try to get past Aldridge. Aldridge able to get that away. Presidio to Rybicki, back to Presidio. Presidio sidesteps a guy, brings it in through the neutral zone and in, gets a shot off of the blocker back into the corner. Storm tried to get it out. Kushkowski, good stick. Storm now still trying to work off of the near board. Kushkowski, another good stick, carries the puck back in. Bergeron goes for a change. Pulauskas comes on. Storm have to regroup. Pulauskas does a good job to get in the way. Pass, chip past Onak, and then Miller is able to get a stick on it. Storm still in control. Cross pass for the D misses, goes back into the Storm zone. Kushkowski changes, and Paulo comes on. Reynolds trying to make Storm make a choice. They pass it. Onak intercepts. Onak gets the puck knocked away. Miller comes over to help. Puck on the boards. Good stick by Miller to knock it away, and then cleared down. Pulauskas on his horse trying to get all the way down there first. Gets there and knocks the puck away. Storm have a guy trailing. Reynolds gets to it, tries to put it back. It's off of the boards. Pulauskas to Miller. Miller, slap shot, goes wide off of the far board and over to Onak. Onak to Reynolds. Reynolds doesn't quite get all of it, and it goes wide of the goaltender. Storm back through the neutral zone now. Puck chipped by Onak onto Dabrowski. Dabrowski plays it up for Reynolds. Reynolds has Pulauskas. Pulauskas streaking down the sideline. Back to Reynolds in the slot. Slot shot. Puck is still loose. The official blows it. Didn't see the puck. And then he makes a show of checking the net, which nobody touched. The net was I made a mistake. 12:03 to go in the first. Puck goes back behind the Storm net and then over to the far side. Chilicki knocks it away. Chilicki, Letcher, and Nietzsche out now for Fury with Campbell and Rybicki. Stretch pass wide for the Storm. Pass hits off of Nietzsche, and then Storm center pass. Shot goes wide, luckily, as they had a good opportunity there to get one past Dabrowski. Storm enter again. Drop pass wide and try to shoot. It gets blocked by Campbell. Puck dump behind Dabrowski. Rybicki plays it up for Chilicki. Chilicki puts it into the neutral zone. And I think Nietzsche's going to get a trip. Oh, called a rough. All right. I don't know. Kind of looked like they tripped over the linesman, but so 11:17 to go in the first. We'll go on our first kill. And Onak, Aldridge, Paulo, and Reynolds to start off the kill. Storm send it into the corner. Aldridge is there. Puck on the sideboard, still kind of fumbling around in the corner. Reynolds tries to get one out, gets knocked back to Aldridge. Aldridge sends it all the way down. That'll waste a few seconds off of the kill here. Storm leaves it behind for their defensemen. They set up their breakout. All four rushing in a line. Puck brought over to the side. Past the slot. Couldn't quite handle it, and it goes over to the sideboard. Paulo pins his man. Reynolds sends it out. And we'll get a change. Kushkowski comes out. Miller, Campbell, and Bergeron. So Bergeron pushes this guy wide, carries in, puts the puck back behind Dabrowski and up the far board. Miller working on the sideboard. Campbell gets a stick on that puck. It gets slowed down behind Dabrowski. Now Miller pins his man, kicked out from the Storm, and they're up the near board. Up to the point, over to the slot, walked in, backdoor shot wide. Good passing play by the Storm. Luckily, they missed the net. puck enters back in. Campbell intercepts that pass and throws it down the ice. 9:45 to go, 28 seconds left on the kill. Reynolds comes back out with Paulo. Storm again coming up. And they're offsides. So Reynolds comes off. Letcher replaces him. Storm win that faceoff. Rush back in. Letcher picks a pocket, but kept in by the Storm. We're even. Shot on Dabrowski. Pushes slide. Storm still in control. Try to put one in the middle. Aldridge gets a stick on it. Rubicki steps in front of that. Tries to get it over to Letcher. He does. Letcher goes cross ice looking for Reynolds. It goes behind him. Storm send it back in. Storm go for a change. Paulo over to Rubicki. Rubicki to Reynolds. Reynolds tries to chip it. It hits off the Storm player. They're back in on the neutral zone. Letcher gets that back to Rubicki. Over to Aldridge. Aldridge going to get up to the red line. Sends it in. Goes for a change. Onak and Miller come on. Kruger is on for Paulo. Kruger battling on the sideboard, trying to get the puck out. Get puck back deep. Storm get the puck out. Reynolds sends it back in. Brown and Carter come on for Letcher. Carter just misses his check, but he does get a stick on the puck. Storm send it back in behind for Dabrowski, and that goes for an icing.
A little bit. They just do some Indian line. Like, you first you do it, or you need to do it.
Puck behind Kruger. Kruger gets that over to Onak. It bounces off of Onak, and Onak regroups. Gets it back to Carter. Carter circling. Got some space. Goes back behind Dabrowski. Puck knocked away. Miller carries it. Gets it over to Kruger. Kruger tries to get it in deep. It gets blocked, but Kruger does get it back. Puck goes into the corner. Carter is there. Loose puck into the middle of the ice. Storm chip it back behind the net and reset up. Long pass for the Storm. They enter, try to get past Campbell. Campbell knocks the puck into the corner. Storm gets one past Brown and on net. Another puck in the middle. Brown comes over to help, knocks it away, goes out of the zone. Storm send it all the way down. Brown changes. Credidio comes on. Piszkowski comes on. Rubicki to Campbell. Piszkowski picks up the loose puck, gets it over to Credidio. Credidio back to Piszkowski. Piszkowski coming across. Carter goes for a change. Piszkowski goes in the middle of three guys. And calling a hook, so we're going to go on the power play. I didn't see it. I don't know where he saw that. I mean, Piszkowski had just kind of lost the puck, so, but I didn't see the hook. No. Nobody had possession. So we're going to go on our first power play. 6:39. Onak with Letcher, Nietzsche, Reynolds, and Paulo. Letcher taking the puck in, and Paulo goes offsides. So face off 1 to Letcher, Letcher to Reynolds, Reynolds to Onak, Onak carries that puck in, leaves it for Letcher. Letcher puts a cross, goes over to Reynolds on the board. Down low for Paulo, over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche up to Paulo, Onak, Reynolds one time. Goaltender wasn't quite sure where that went. Minute 13 to go on the power play. Letcher picks that puck up. Shot goes over to the far board. Paulo to Onak, back to Paulo. Paulo walks it, gets it over to Letcher at the baseline. Back to Reynolds one time. Goes wide and the net gets knocked off. Good passing play by this group. Face-off controlled by Windy City. Got one pass. Paulo, good job, slow up. Storm, get a shot on Dabrowski, blocker save, over to the far board, and Onak carries it through the neutral zone. Onak going wide. Centering pass to Nietzsche gets knocked away, and Letcher picks the puck up. 5:20 to go. 32 seconds left in the power play. Reynolds comes from behind Dabrowski, coming up the near board. Behind Kushkowski. Carter comes on with Chalicki. Reynolds changes. Pulauskas comes on. Campbell to Pulauskas. Cross for Kushkowski. Kushkowski leaves it for Chalicki. Chalicki back to Kushkowski. Up to Campbell. We're even. Kushkowski back to Campbell. Campbell shot in front. Loose. Carter tried to get a stab at it. Gets knocked away. Chalicki back to Kushkowski. Kushkowski. Backdoor. Pulauskas says it's in. So it'll be Kushkowski to Pulauskas with the goal, 4:31. Seems to be a little bit of an argument here with the officiating crew. So let's see what happens here. The signal on the ice was a good goal.
He's standing there with the puck.
Yeah, I know. All right, so the same official that called a phantom call is now reversing his decision. So 0-0. We just can't seem to buy a good official these days. So Brown, Kruger, and Carter come to take this face off. Campbell and Miller. Oh, still.
That's the only way you can, like, only thing you can do is,
So face off won by Storm. They flip it up into the neutral ice. Campbell gets a stick on it. And offsides is called. Because this guy can't see. He needs glasses. It didn't make any sense. Storm sends the puck back in, goes off of Dabrowski's stick into the opposite board. Carter puts it ahead for Kruger. Kruger to Brown. Brown dumps it into the corner. Goes in after it. Storm trying to escape. Tied up in the corner. Puck comes over to the near board. Kruger, puck gets knocked away. Carter knocks that puck away. Puck off of the sideboard. Carter coming in. Storm got a shot. Gets deflected over to the sideboard. Kruger knocks it into the neutral zone. Storm regroup. Brown changes. Presidio comes on. 3:37 to go. Campbell leaves it for Miller. Miller up for Carter. That looked like that was out. But play continues. Puck now to the neutral zone. Miller's stick gets thrown. That's a penalty, but they don't call that. That's interference. There, we got that call. So 23 is going to go for that high hit. Campbell on the sideboard goes cross for Carter. Carter hits off. Puck goes down deep. Pushkowski is there. Pushkowski takes a ride, and Storm recollects. 23 is going to get a cross check, and we'll go back on the power play. 2:58 to go in the first. That really could have been a number of calls: interference, cross check, head contact. They go with the cross check. So we'll send out Nietzsche, Letcher, Paulo, Reynolds, and Onak. A little bit of a change to the power play grouping. Storm win that face-off. Try to clear. Reynolds gloves it down. Puck kept in by Onak. Onak backdoor. Nietzsche thought he had it. Big save by the goaltender. Paulo from behind the net puts it over to Onak. Onak back for Paulo. Puck goes to the corner. Drop back to Letcher. Letcher coming up the boards with speed through the neutral zone. Sends it around hard for Paulo. Paulo takes it off of the board. Gets crushed. And we're going to get that one. That is... Paulo gets a couple extra hits. All right, so we got a boarding and a misconduct. So that'll go for a 2 and a 10. We'll be 5-on-3 for minute 16. 2:13 left in the first. Paulo already taken a couple of hard hits this game. Finally able to draw the penalty on that one. They're going to keep the same personnel. Reynolds, Paulo, Letcher, Onak, and Nietzsche. Face-off goes behind the net. Paulo digs it out. Paulo gets it up to Onak. Onak to Reynolds. Reynolds back to Onak. Onak walks it in. decides to come back out, gets it to Reynolds. Reynolds down low for Letcher. Letcher walks in, gets a shot off of the blocker. Puck chipped out by Nietzsche. Letcher's going to get a penalty, but Letcher was the one being held. This official is awful. So we're going to go 4-on-4, or 4-on-3, rather, for 51 seconds. And then it'll go 4-on-4. Paulo wins the faceoff. It goes over to Reynolds. Reynolds to Paulo. Paulo carries in. Cross for Onak. Back to Paulo. Paulo with a slot. Takes a shot. Glove save. Paulo wins it back to Reynolds. Reynolds across for Onak. Onak pass in front for Paulo. Paulo tries to jam one in. Gets knocked aside. Onak back in control. Shot off of the pad over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche puts it to the corner for Reynolds. Reynolds behind the net. Up the sideboard for Onak. Over to Paulo. Paulo back to Onak. Onak puts the puck in front. Oh! Nietzsche hits the post. Storm clear all the way down. 55 seconds to go. Puck played up to Nietzsche. Cross for Rybicki. We're 4-on-4 right now. Rybicki shot. Hits off of the glove. Goes behind the net. Storm up the sideboard. Circles back. Kushkowski comes on. Storm get one past the D. Try to go backhand. Dabrowski pushes it aside. Centering pass. Knocked aside by Kushkowski. Storm trying to get another shot. Kush, nice stick. Rybicki pushes that over to Reynolds. Reynolds brings it in. He's got 20 seconds. Tries to split the D. Puck knocked over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas shot goes wide. We're on the kill now for 22 seconds. 8 seconds left. Puck comes loose. Storm can't quite get the puck together. 2 seconds. Shot not strong enough, and that'll be the end of the first. So we'll have 12 seconds of a kill left to start the second. Still 0-0. Nietzsche with a really close opportunity on the power play. Hits the post. So we've got one wave goal and one near miss. Still 0-0. So start the second on the kill. We've got Reynolds, Paulo, Campbell, Rubicki. 12 seconds to kill here. Paulo gets headlocked, and we just let that go. All right. Puck played back by the goaltender. Storm set up, tried to get a rush. Kill is over. A little bit of confusion. Kolauskas does come out. Puck in front, and Dabrowski covered. Chilicki, Nietzsche, and Letcher come on the ice. Rubicki and Campbell at D still. Campbell digs that puck out. Chilicki just gets pinned. They do let him go, though. Campbell's being interfered with. No call. Puck up the near board. Chilicki gets a chicken wing. That's clear. Pass to Rubicki. Rubicki shot gets blocked, goes over the sideboard. Nietzsche to Letcher. Letcher to Chilicki. Chilicki! That is an intentional kick. Goaltender was going to get beat, and he completely kicked the net off. I mean, you have to kick really hard to knock the net off like that. .16:05 to go in the second. Same personnel. Onak and Aldridge. Pass to Chilicki. Chilicki gets to Onak. Onak, quick shot, gets blocked. Goes over to the sideboard. Storm. Cross-ice pass intercepted by Onak. Onak waits. We got to tag up. Onak tries to get through. Gets taken down. Puck into the corner. Chilicki comes in. Puck gets to the opposite side corner. Marty comes in hard. Storm try to send it out. Comes right back in. Storm now trying to get heads up. Puck deflected out of play. Oh no! Hits the camera, and get a little help from a young player. Throws it back in. Credidio, Kushkowski, and Bergeron come on the ice. 15:39 to go in the second. Credidio to Aldridge. Aldridge back for Credidio. Credidio carries in. He's got Berge wide. Drops to Kush. Kush back to Credidio. Credidio walks in. Shot high and into the netting. But a good opportunity back and forth. Kushkowski and Credidio. Campbell comes on for Aldridge. Miller at D as well. Puck dropped. Bergeron knocks it in the corner. Storm try to clear it. That's kept in by Campbell. Hits Credidio. Credidio gets pinned. Fending off three. Bergeron comes in to help. Kushkowski on the other side. Puck gets dug out. And back into the corner. Storm try to get past Credidio. Credidio picks a pocket, gets a shot. Credidio's going to get a tripping penalty. Official calls Credidio for a slash. So we'll go back on the kill. 14:52 to go in the second. Windy City controls, gets a shot deflected by Reynolds. Goes on the side of the net. Nolan had frozen that puck. Get a Storm win that faceoff, send it around. Paulo's going to get there first. Gets it off of it. Off the boards, chips it over to Reynolds. Reynolds sends it in deep. Storm have to reset up. Reynolds giving pressure, forcing Storm to make a choice. Storm wait. Minute 32 in the kill. Storm do their reverse Mighty Ducks. Send it up. Miller knocks the puck away. A lot of flopping by the Storm right now. Storm back up to their D. Cross ice, misses. Miller chips it out. Reynolds giving pressure. Paulo changes. Nietzsche comes on. Storm brings it in. Wide. Miller ties up. Puck back up. Nietzsche pushing to the side. Storm. Interference. No call. Centering pass. Shot goes wide. Puck back up to the point. Over to the slot. Shot deflected and out of play. Rybicki and Aldridge at D. Letcher joins Nietzsche. 36 seconds to go on the kill, 13:28 in the second period. Face off, underneath feet. Rybicki tries to dig it out. Storm got a shot. Puck goes into the netting. Storm again, dig a puck out. They flip it down. Goes all the way down, 24 seconds to go on this kill. Storm set up from behind the net. Come back out. Get it wide. Puck around over to the far board. Storm get it down to the slot. Blocked by Rybicki. Penalties expired. Chalicki comes out. Storm still looking, bringing it through. Good job by Letcher, knocked that puck away. Rybicki flings it forward, gets kept in. Letcher he's going to give it both to him. So Letcher gets a good hit in and then gets taken down, and both get sent to the box. Brown, Kruger, Carter come out with Onak and Miller. 12:34 to go in the second. Kruger to take this draw. Face off, push to the corner. Storm. Put it through the neutral zone, bounce off a stick. Onak is there. Puts it up for Kruger. Kruger's stick gets lifted. Carter battling on the board. Carter takes a hit, but still moving. Puck kept in over on the sideboard, back down low into the corner for the Storm. Storm, chip behind the net. Miller comes over. Nolan knocks that puck out of the air over to the sideboard. Onak tries to get a hit in. Centering pass. Shot in front. Saved by Nolan. Puck back up to the D, back down low. We look a little confused. Puck cleared. And that'll be an icing. But we're going to get a change. We'll bring out Kushkowski, Credidio, and Bergeron. Got a little turnaround on that shift. Rubicki and Campbell at D. Storm get that back to their D, get a shot. Rubicki gets a stick on it, carries it the other way. Credidio wide, brings it in, gets a shot, hits off of the stick. Bergeron tries to put that back low. Storm get it in control of it, bring it through the neutral zone. They've got one guy up. He's going to shoot it at the official and get it back behind Dabrowski. Credidio now working off of the sideboard. Puts it forward for Krzyzkowski. Krzyzkowski carries in for Bergeron. Bergeron back to Krzyzkowski. Krzyzkowski chips it back low. Bergeron is there. Kush battling on the backboard. Puck comes loose over the far board. Credidio gets there. Storm still get it past his feet. They've got two. Try to carry in offsides. So we'll get another change. Palauskas, Reynolds, and Paulo come out. Onak comes out on D. Aldridge remains. Storm with the face-off, but they miss the pass. Palauskas hustling. Puck gets pushed all the way back. Storm trying to come up the board. Onak gets a shot, goes off the pad over to Reynolds. Reynolds, backhand block. Puck in the middle of the ice. Storm trying to get through. Aldridge gets it to Reynolds. Reynolds passes to Palauskas, bounce off of his stick. Storm back into the neutral zone. Cross ice pass. Try to get it up. Aldridge is there, gets it back to Reynolds. Reynolds to Paulo. Paulo giving pressure. Storm back in control. Try to stretch pass. Hits off of Reynolds' stick, and then Aldridge sends it back in. Storm send it deep behind Dabrowski. Onak off of the glass, up for Palauskas. Misses Palauskas. Storm regroup. Cross ice pass misses. No icing. It was definitely icing. No icing called. Aldridge to Palauskas. Palauskas again missing on the pass. Chalicki comes out on a change. And Miller as well for D. Paulo steps in front of a Storm player. They still have control though. Pass into the slot. Shot goes high. A lot of falling bodies. Miller. Cross for Palauskas. Over to Chalicki. Chalicki dumps it. Palauskas changes. Nietzsche comes on. Campbell comes on at D. Kruger jumps on. Oh, cross ice pass. Chalicki centers for Kruger. Kruger still has it. Loses it behind the net. Nietzsche to Kruger. Kruger goes in. Kruger looking to center that pass. Centers a pass for a backdoor. Hits off of the goaltender and goes in. So it's 1-0 Fury with the goal from Kruger. Letcher joins Nietzsche and Chalicki. Face off, one over to Letcher. Letcher gets it to Campbell. Campbell and Miller at D. Campbell gets it to Miller. Miller up for Chalicki. Chalicki to Nietzsche. Nietzsche tries to chip it in. It hits off of the official. Chalicki gets it to Miller. Miller over to Campbell. Campbell tries to send it up. Doesn't quite go hard enough, and Storm come back the other way. Storm trying to pass, hits off of Miller's skate. Letcher pushes him to the board. Miller and Letcher are working on the sideboard. Puck comes free to Nietzsche. Nietzsche over to Chalicki. Chalicki brings the puck in. Gets a shot, hits off of the pad. Nietzsche gets tied up. Otherwise, the rebound was right to him. Storm coming up into the neutral zone. Kruger has come on. Puck over to Chilicki. Chilicki cross ice for Letcher. Campbell carrying it over. Dumps it ahead for Kruger. Kruger into the corner. Brown comes on. Kruger still battling. Letcher coming in to help. Letcher trying to dig the puck. Comes loose behind the net. Letcher still working. Kruger over to help. Letcher gets that puck to Brown. Or up for Brown. Letcher gets taken down. And we're going to get a power play. We're going to go back on the power play. 7:36 to go in the second. Nietzsche, Paulo, Letcher, Onak, and Reynolds. Paulo gets that puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds across for Onak. Onak walks in, gets a shot. And no rebound given. Face-off, hits off Apollo's skate. Reynolds comes over to get it. Drops it to Onak. Onak shot low. And immediately covered. Face-off goes into the corner. Storm. Clear. Dabrowski's going to push that puck back for Odak. Odak sets up. Letcher picks the puck up from behind the net. Gets it up to Nietzsche. Nietzsche cross for Onak. Onak carries it over and gets it to Reynolds. Reynolds pass to Paulo. Paulo gets his skate on it but couldn't quite control it. Puck now behind the net. Storm pick it up and clear. Onak sends it up for Nietzsche. Nietzsche shot hard off of the glass, bounces onto the net. Chipped over, back to Nietzsche. Nietzsche up to Reynolds. Minute to go on the power play. Nietzsche down low, back. Onak keeps it in. Onak for Paulo. Paulo down to Letcher. Letcher back to Paulo. Paulo to Onak. Onak to Reynolds. Reynolds shot. Glove save by the goaltender. 45 seconds to go. .620 left in the second. We're going to go with Carter, Kushkowski, Chilicki, Palauskas, and Campbell. Kush does a nice job tying up the center. Palauskas stick hits off of the Storm player and out of play. .39 seconds to go in the power play now. Kushkowski takes the draw again, wins that back to Palauskas. Palauskas walks it in. Shot! Glove save. Kushkowski again. Cleared by Storm. Send it all the way back down. Campbell coming in hard to make sure he gets there first. Back behind Dabrowski. Dabrowski screening for Campbell. Campbell over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski carries in. Kushkowski still working the puck in the corner. Gets it up to Campbell. Campbell for Chilicki, misses, goes over to Kush. Kushkowski back to Chilicki. Chilicki off of the board, misses Kush, but he gets it off of the net. Puck around for Chalicki. We're even. Chalicki to Kush. Kush to Campbell. Campbell for Chalicki. Chalicki tries to tip it. Puck's still loose to Kushkowski. Kushkowski shot. Rolls behind the net after a save. Chalicki's gets pinned. Carter comes in. Storm send the puck high. Try to get past Rybicki. Rybicki tries to knock that puck down. Storm back in control. And then turn the puck over to Carter. Rybicki up for Campbell. Campbell cross for Carter. Carter to Reynolds. Reynolds chips it, bounces off and into the middle of the ice. Carter comes in hard again. Kruger comes out now. Onak for Kruger. Kruger chips it in, played into the corner by the goaltender. Kruger, good hit, knocks the puck free. Carter gonna go for a trip. So Carter's gonna go to the box. It will go on the kill again. .423 to go in the second. Nietzsche and Letcher with Aldridge and Onak for the kill. Storm controlled the faceoff, walked the line, pass over to the slot, back up to the point, over to the near board and down to the corner. Storm trying to work at Letcher, ties up his man, trying to get past him. Storm have to figure out where to go. They go cross ice. Centering pass to Flex, goes wide. Letcher chips it out. Marty racing for it, gets there. He gets hooked. He still had the stick on him, and they didn't call that. And then takes a punch. Storm try a drag shot. Puck comes around again. Marty gonna get there. Got Letcher. Pass to Letcher. Letcher shot. Glove save. Puck comes back around. Paulo comes on for Nietzsche. Onak knocks the puck away. Battling on the board. He pins it. 51 seconds to go on the kill. Puck comes loose for Storm. Storm back up to their D. Net's off. All right. So Letcher's going in the box. Didn't they rush Letcher? All right, so we're going to go 5-on-3. Unbelievable officiating crew. White's going to take a timeout. We didn't get a 2-10. We already had a penalty.
Do they not get no, we got it. I got it. Don't they get a penalty for shooting after the whistle?
It's an unsportsmanlike,
Yeah.
but in that kid's defense, They were really slow on the whistle, though.
But he played one game. What did Reggie do?
Knocked the kid down, but they came at him. Like, they called a slash. Like, I don't know. These guys are making up rules. I don't like. Marty gets hooked on a breakaway and still had the stick on him, and they didn't call that. They took a timeout, yeah. All right, Storm win that back. Get it up to their D. Little D to D. Walks it in. Down low. Point. Misses the shot and cleared by Reynolds. Reynolds, Paulo, and Onak on the first kill here. Storm kind of nonchalantly enter the zone. 13 seconds on the first penalty. He's holding him. Reynolds gets free. This is some of the most atrocious officiating I have ever seen. So 2 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Kushkowski and Nietzsche are out now with Onak. Storm push that puck. Go behind the net. Campbell comes out now. Minute 10 on the kill. Campbell comes up, knocks the puck away. Clears it. Hits off of a player, bounces. Kushkowski working. Storm get a hold of it and bring it back behind their goaltender. Nietzsche comes up to take the point. Puck push fire. Kushkowski gets a stick on it. Storm try to bring it in. Another clear by Onak. Onak changes. Miller comes out. 34 seconds to go. Minute 41 left in the period. Puck hits off of Kushkowski's stick. Storm trying to get it back in. Campbell and Kushkowski working. Kush gets a stick on it. Campbell pins in the corner. Miller comes over to help. Puck bounces off of the board. Storm up to their D. Up to the point. Cross. Shot wide. Pass misses. Nietzsche takes it. 2 seconds to go. Letcher's back out. Minute 3 in the period. We're full strength again. Puck bounces past the player. Reynolds puts it ahead for Kushkowski. Storm send it back in their offsides. Campbell circling. Up to Reynolds. Paulo's joined Reynolds. Reynolds to Paulo. Paulo shot bounces off. Reynolds' stick is broken. He has to go. Grabs the stick. Letcher to Paulo. Paulo shot blocked. Puck to the corner. Reynolds is there. Paulo gets the loose over to Rybicki. Rybicki slap shot. Goes wide. Bounces over. Miller misses. Puck goes in from and shot on Dabrowski. Save. 10 seconds to go. Hard out. Rybicki takes a big hit. Kruger's come on. And that'll be the end of the second. We'll go to ice cut. Oh, yeah. Good. How are you? We're all set. All right. So ice cut. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Bye.
All right, I think my microphones are dead. We're going to start the third period with Reynolds, Kolaskis, and Hollow. Puck knocked into the corner. Storm working from behind. Dabrowski tried to center. Storm enter, try to split through, gets knocked aside by Letcher. Letcher past to Chalicki, bounces off Chalicki, Storm back in. Puck goes wide and into the corner. Rubicki is there, chips it up for Chalicki, kept in by Storm. Chalicki gets a stick on it, bounces up to Letcher. Nietzsche goes for a change. Kruger comes on. Letcher's pass gets deflected by Storm and back into the neutral zone. Kruger, good skate, kicks it. Oh, dangerous pass. Puck bounces off of Miller and Kruger tries to pass to Onak. Misses. Brown has come on the ice. Kruger chips to the neutral zone. Letcher goes for a change. Shot from the slot. Beats Dabrowski glove side, and it's 1-1. We'll get a change. Bergeron, Kushkowski, and Credidio come out. stick, goes into the corner. Campbell, cross for Rybicki. Rybicki for Kushkowski. Puck bounce on the boards. Burge sends it in and then gets taken down. No call. Campbell tries to work the puck back in and gets knocked out. Rybicki pulls it out of the corner, goes back behind Dabrowski, up to Bergeron. Rybicki changes, and Aldridge comes on. Kushkowski chips over to Credidio. Credidio up the boards for Aldridge. Aldridge, quick shot in front, tip. Kushkowski tips it, hits the pad, and goes back into the corner. Storm clear, Aldridge gets there. Looks to put it back for Credidio, hits off of a Storm player. Credidio comes in, gets past a couple, goes into the corner, tries to chip the puck back up to Aldridge. Storm get it out. Aldridge passes to Bergeron to Onak. Onak up the ice, puts it into the neutral zone. Paulo comes out with Reynolds on a chain. Miller out. And Pulauskas is out. Puck into Storm territory. Pulauskas giving some pressure. Paulo as well. Storm get it back into the neutral zone and off the sideboard. Centering pass shot by Storm, pushed aside by Dombrowski and over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas looking to pass to Reynolds, gets deflected over to the near board. Paulo comes in hard, puck gets to Miller in the neutral zone. Campbell sends the puck in. Storm behind their own net. Try to come up. Paulo gets a skate on it. Puck finds its way to Pulauskas and then to Paulo. Knocked away and back into the Fury zone. Miller to Pulauskas. Chalicki's come out on a chain. And so it's Nietzsche. Stretch pass for Storm. They enter, try to get a centering pass. Nietzsche's in the way and puck goes to the corner. Puck now behind, goes over to the far board. Pulauskas tries to get there. Dabrowski pops a rebound into his glove, and we get a whistle. 11:31 to go, 1-1. All right, my microphone a little charge. See how long it'll last. The net is kind of askew. So get a little bit of love in, and Storm draw comes out into the neutral zone. Storm pass over, hits off of Rybicki. Back up the near board and to the point. Another shot blocked. Letcher sends it down. That's going to go on net, so no icing. Nietzsche rushing in hard. Carter, Brown, and Kruger come off the bench. Onak and Miller are going to stay at D. Puck over to the boards and Storm clear it to the neutral zone. Onak Goes to send a blind pass up the board. Storm get in front of it. Kruger, good stick, takes it away. Kruger gets hooked. And puck goes out of play. DDD pass by the Storm. They enter the zone on the near board. Shot goes high off of the back glass. Carter, good job by Kruger Brown. Passing to Kruger, bounces off of the boards, picked up by Storm, and back to the neutral zone. Fury regroup. Campbell sends it in on net, bounces over to Brown. Brown sends one puck in, hits off of the stick and into the corner. Brown has space. Cross ice to Campbell. Campbell shot in front, bouncing. Miller, another shot, another save by the goaltender. Giving up some rebounds here. Fury are able to keep it. Carter gets knocked down. Storm are going to get a penalty. Wait. Okay, Carter is getting a roughing penalty. Storm had control of the puck and he blew the whistle. That's not how penalties work. If we were the offending party, then he would have needed to wait until we touch it. So Storm with the face-off. Air control, puck bounces in front. Puck underneath Dabrowski. And he covers. Puck underneath Paulo, pushed up to Storm. Storm comes to the near board. Back to the point. Puck bouncing around. Dabrowski gets a stick save and knocks the puck away. Storm's shot goes high and over to the near board. Another shot blocked by Campbell. Puck to the corner. Oh. Reynolds, good stick, knocks the puck into the neutral zone. Storm have to regroup. Storm back behind their goaltender. Set up their reverse V. Onak comes out. 1:04 to go on the kill. Puck over to the far board. Knocked back in. And up the near board. Storm to the slot, blocked by Onak. Puck bounces off of the boards, and then Dabrowski makes a save. And we got a whistle. .8:33 to go in the game. 1-1, 40 seconds to go in the kill. Letcher and Nietzsche come out with Onak and Rubicki. Puck over to the far board. Back up to the point. Shot in front gets deflected off of Onak into the near board. Back to the point and over to the opposite side board. Down low. Storm go back up the far board. Storm waiting for some space. Walk in a little bit, go back down low. Centering pass. Blocked. Good job by Onak. And he clears. Onak changes and Campbell comes on. 10 seconds to go. Looks like Kushkowski's going to come out. Storm bring it in. Carter comes out of the box. Kushkowski comes on. Puck flipped ahead for Nietzsche. Nietzsche tries to drag past gets knocked to the board. Kushkowski's there, takes it away. Centering pass, intercepted by Storm. Storm one-on-one with Campbell. Campbell, good stick, knocks the puck to the corner. Puck comes off of the board. Letcher lifts the stick, gets it across for Nietzsche. Letcher changes. Predidio comes on. Nietzsche's getting hooked again and no call. Another hook. Aldridge dumps the puck in the opposite corner. Predidio goes to get it. Bergeron comes on. Kushkowski working on the backboard with Predidio. Storm dig it out. Send it over to the far board and then into the middle. Coming through the neutral zone. They go wide. Aldridge pushes him behind. Stuff tried to get through, and the net comes off again. Brown, Kruger, and Carter come out. Miller and Onak at D. 6:55 to go in the game, 1-1. Puck kicked back to Storm. That goes out. Puck is out, offsides. Puck went back to Miller, goes into the corner. Miller up to Brown, off of the board. Brown off of the glass into the neutral zone, intercepted by Storm, and they're offsides again. All right, so a face-off dot in a better position for this one. Kruger ready to take the draw. Storm win it back into the zone. Carter, big hit. Carter separating man from puck. Storm still get it, but Carter coming over. Puck chipped into the middle of the ice. Brown gets in front of that, gets over to the near board. Storm send it back in. Dabrowski leaves it for Onak. Onak to Carter. Carter gets past one. Puck gets carried in. Over to the corner, reversing. Carter, another hit. Brown knocks that puck back in. Lawson gets a cross check. No call. Brown changes. Reynolds comes on. Miller tries to step in front of that pass. Kruger comes over, puts his guy into the boards. We're going to get a power play here. Paulo comes on as the sixth man. Miller goes for a change. Storm touch up. So we'll go on the power play, 5:28 to go. So we got a timeout. All right, so we're going to go with Nietzsche, Letcher, Reynolds, Paulo, and Onak. Face off and feet. Storm dig it out and they send it hard around. Rides off of the glass. Onak picks it up. I'm going to take it down behind Dabrowski. Puck left for Letcher. Letcher coming up the near board. Letcher carries in. Paulo dumps his guy in front. Storm have a little bit of something to say about it, but no call. Reynolds to Nietzsche. Nietzsche shot off of the shoulder of the goaltender. Goes into the sideboard. Letcher to Onak. Onak shot. Another rebound. Reynolds gets there. Knocks it back. Pass over to Letcher. Letcher's got Nietzsche back door. Looking for a pass off pad. It bounces off of a defensive player. Letcher just being pinned down. Reynolds, puck to Nietzsche. Nietzsche, cross for Letcher. Letcher carries in. Dumps it low for Nietzsche. Nietzsche in the corner.
Go, Fury!
Paulo comes over to help. Paulo, puck gets dug out hard and sent around. Letcher changes, or going for a change, decides not to. Paulo comes off, Chalicki comes on. Campbell to Letcher. Kushkowski is on. Reynolds tries to get past one. Gets knocked away. Puck now. Chalicki's back door. Chalicki tries to get a quick shot off on the pass. Hits the pad and goes into the corner. Carter is out now. We're even. Rybicki comes on for Kushkowski. Reynolds, Carter, Chalicki trying to dig that puck out. Storm have 3-on-2. Shot into Nolan's stomach, and Dabrowski saves. No rebound. Kushkowski is going to join Brown and Kruger. Miller comes on for Rybicki. So Miller and Onak, Brown, Kruger, Kushkowski. Kushkowski takes the draw. Kushkowski wins it back for Miller. Hard up to Kruger. Bounces off of Kruger. Storm try to send it back in. Kushkowski digs it out. Storm go D to D. Miller takes a little bit of a fall. Centering pass. Save Dabrowski. Puck over to Kush. Kush tries to get it out. Kept in. Storm. Shot. Hits off of a stick. And deflects in. Dabrowski trying to make the argument that it was high. Stick. Hit the hit the player's stick. Chalicki, Nietzsche, and Letcher are back out. Campbell and Aldridge at D. Nietzsche gets past two. He's getting hooked, still getting hooked. Hook goes on net. Nietzsche takes a hit well after. Again, a third hooking on Nietzsche and not called. And he carried the stick with him.
You can do it, boys. Let's go, tight up.
Empty net for Fury. Nietzsche stays out with Pulauskas, Reynolds, Paulo, Aldridge, and Campbell at D. Puck pushed to the corner. Storm send it out into the neutral ice. Gets past Campbell. Campbell takes it behind the net. Over to Aldridge, up to Pulauskas. Knocked aside by Storm. Campbell gets it back. Campbell with speed enters the zone. Centering pass gets blocked by Storm. They try to get it out. Pulauskas puts the puck across ice. Storm get a hold of it, send it down. Goes wide for an icing. Minute 33 to go. 2-1. Fletcher comes on for Nietzsche. Rybicki and Onak at D. Storm clear again, goes wide again. Face-off in feet. Storm try to clear. Rybicki keeps it. Puts it down low, bounces off of the boards into the opposite corner. Reynolds is there. Walks up the boards, drops it back down for Letcher. Letcher to Paulo. Paulo shot deflected. Storm put it to neutral ice and then turn and icing. Nietzsche comes back on. Pulauskas, Paulo, Letcher, Nietzsche, Reynolds, and Onak. Onak to Letcher, back to Onak. Onak shot. Blocker save. Puck goes into the sideboard. Storm clear, send it down, and ice again. 57 seconds to go. Puck comes back to Onak. One-timer, glove save. Letcher tries to get a stick on it. Reynolds shot in front. Storm get a hold of it, and it's going to go down for another. It was tipped, hit off of a Fury player. Onak and Reynolds trying to get control of that. Paulo gets it over to Reynolds. Reynolds. 30 seconds to go. Reynolds brings the puck in, still has control. Over to Nietzsche. And that'll be the end of that. Storm are going to put that puck in. $19 seconds to go. 3-1 Storm. So Brown, Kruger, and Carter come out for the last 19 seconds. Onak and Miller face-off controlled by Storm. They're just going to take it back, send it down into the middle of the ice. Miller knocks that over to Onak. Onak takes it behind and just waits up. And so that'll be the end of the game. We have a game scheduled for Wednesday against the North Star Christian Academy. And then we'll be in Milwaukee on Saturday for a doubleheader. 2 and 8, I believe. So we'll see you guys all on Wednesday and then next weekend.